Alright, so some of you might know that I recorded this video before and it didn't quite work out, lost some footage and so on, but I think I've got a better way to do this anyway. So I've broken it down into categories as a way to decide what kind of scooter wheels you want to ride, because I mean, there's no best wheel size or brand or whatever. It's really a matter of preference and yourself and how you ride and your body size and weight and all that kind of stuff. So I broke it down to three categories. Basically, things you want to think about are the size of the wheel you want, the brand of the wheel you want, and the innovations that have occurred in that wheel, within the brand, and within the way the company has developed the technology for scootering. First I'll start with sizes because it's pretty basic. Your normal kind of scooter wheels are 110mm diameter by 24mm width. They're just your standard run-of-the-mill, say, Rivers or Protos or, basically every brand has 110 by 24mm wheel. They're what I rode, forever basically. And probably you'd say what most people ride. A lot of the innovations that are coming out now are towards size. The other, semi-old school option is the 120mm diameter. Pardon me, I've been drinking beer before the filming. 120mm diameter by 24mm width, and it's an example I've got here. There's the Revolution twin core 120mm wheels. I've got a pair left over from when I used to ride these. I got them because they're cool and they're purple, and everything on my scooter basically was purple, and so fitted right in. I then changed from 120mm diameter to 125mm diameter by a 30mm width. So an increase in both diameter and width there. I found those wheels to be probably like some of the nicest wheels that I've ridden. I'd say for two reasons. One is because of the brand, which is Ethic, the Ethic Calypso wheels. I'll talk a bit more about the brand later. More is the width. The 30mm width I thought was a great innovation to the size of scooter wheels. And I think it's something that you should consider when getting your next scooter wheel. So, you get your purists who are, well, if you can't do it on a 24, then, go fuck yourself, basically. But, not everybody's like 5'4" and like, 50 kilos. So, as well, not everybody has all the time in the world just to balance on it. Sometimes it's just for fun, you can enjoy this too. So I really like the 30mm width. That's what I liked about those big wheels. Now your other option there is actually something which I think everybody should be considering at the moment, which is the 115mm by 30mm. If I said that's a recent thing, that's bullshit. Eagle have been doing it for ages, haven't they? When they first came out, the Eagle ones, I was like, fuck, what's a 30mm wide wheel and how do you put it on your fork? It's the whole compatibility issue was the whole massive problem back in the day. I think essentially that's resolved now. Most things work with most things. So, yeah. I like the 115 by 30, I think. That's probably one of the wheels I'm going to test out on my new build. Because you've got the width and the slightly increased diameter off the original 110mm. So 115mm gives you that little bit extra. I'm a big boy, and a lot of people are, and you want to keep doing this until you can't anymore, right? So, it gives you that little bit of extra diameter, but it gives you the width, that full 30mm width, I think is basically invaluable. I really enjoy it. It's just like, you know, corrects you up a little bit, straightens your balance. I think it's worth having. You know, it doesn't have to be hard. So I rate that quite a lot at the moment. Your last option that I've seen around is the 100mm wheel. Never ridden one, I think, other than the original Razor in the year 2000, and probably, you know, the next couple of years after that. Other than that, I don't know anything about 100mm wheels. I think they're, you know, if they're around now, they're a gimmick, and probably don't bother fucking with them. I think there are some variations to those rules that I've just mentioned with how wheels work. You get things like the TSI wheel that have a 24mm core and a 30mm urethane. I'm not sure how those go. Wouldn't mind trying someday, you know, if I should get access to some. But regardless, like, they look interesting. It's a pretty cool idea. You can have it, you know, you don't have to get spacers and things. Get your 24mm spacers. I don't know if it's good or not. People like, if you've ridden the TSI wheels, can people like comment on this? I'm just going to speculate and dribble shit otherwise, and I'd much rather like your input. That if you've ridden them before, you can tell me, like, you know, is it good having that extra urethane width on the small core? Because I imagine it's like sticking out a fair bit. The only other example I've seen of that kind of thing, I think, is the Triad Oath Bermuda wheels. Might be the other ones too, but I know I put those on my daughter's scooter because they're, you know, pretty and pink and light and so on. They've got the 26mm urethane on a 24mm core, so, you know, 1mm each side, whereas it was a 3mm each side for the TSI wheel is, I don't know, like, does the urethane come off easily? You know, or does it sit on there really well? Like, you know, is it easy to put on forks? Like, what's the compatibility like with it? Like, don't know. So if either, you know, TSI wants to send me some, and I'll let people know, or, you know, people can just comment about your own experiences. That'd be brilliant. So I guess we're going to talk about brands. Basically, I'm going to do this is I'm just going to give you a countdown of my top 5 brands of scooter wheels. And, you know, you can disagree if you want, fair enough. You know, it's just my opinion. All right, so I'm going to start with 5 is Tilt. As far as wheels are concerned, I know Tilt's got their fans, and I know Tilt's got their haters. I guess I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I just try to be impartial with stuff. I don't, you know, really want to get involved in the politics particularly. I just, you know, I'm admiring from a distance. Quite like Tilt wheels. I used to ride the old school Tilt wheels. You probably see behind me. I've got the Toms and the Isaacs. The Toms, I rode a lot of those. I killed a few pairs of Tom Quillhog Tilt Stage 2 wheels back in the day. Those are 110 by 24s. I think everything was back then, basically, other than if the Eagle things were around then. I liked them. They were good solid wheels. I was basically obsessed with Tilt back then. I loved just waiting for those videos to drop and just, you know, all the Tom stuff I just absolutely loved, and couldn't get enough of Tilt then. I mean, even still, they're doing wonderful things. I suppose as a newer thing, they've been releasing, I suppose, those stage 3 wheels are something to talk about. Haven't run them myself. I've got some. I've got a pair that I've sold, the black 120 by 30 spoked Durair wheels. I've got them sold, but they are sitting on my shelf behind me. I've also got the Selects, same size, 120 by 30. See here, these ones are sort of off-white on chrome. They're a really beautiful wheel, but they're a softer urethane, and I'll talk about urethanes a bit later. But they're an 83A urethane, which is a bit softer than most things, and from all reports they tear up a bit easy, which, I mean, you'd understand. It's something that you wouldn't take to the streets, I don't think. Not a urethane of that softness, so I just put them on the shelf when I saw everyone destroying theirs. I was like, oh, I love those wheels, but yeah, they wouldn't last me. So yeah, I just put them there to be pretty. I might sell them one day or something, but you know, at the moment they're happy there. I'm seeing another few things from Tilt. What have they? Oh, also that they've done the Meta stuff, the signature wheels. They did that for a while. I think they had what's his name? Lewis, bloody something. Tommy Christiana. There was Andrew Zamora. There was Will Cashin. Will Cashin once had the two sizes too. Had the 110 by 24 and the 120 by 30s, which was pretty cool. If you can find any of the Meta stuff, grab it, because that'll be pretty collectible. I've seen a few things around. I just, you know, can't be fucked working out how to communicate with the obscure scooter shop in Azerbaijan or whatever who's got a pair left. So if you can, go for your life. They did a, you know, Theory 2, I think it was, set of wheels. They've done 10-year wheels. They were just typical Tilt, both full core. Can't remember what the 10-year were. Anyway, they've got a whole host of things that you can go and check out. I rate Tilt wheels. Tell me what you think about Tilt wheels in the comments. Alright, my number 4 is River. So I chose River. Because of, I guess they're just iconic. You've got the two kinds of River wheels. I've got the Glides, so Juzzy's on the Glides, Reese is on the Rapids. So these two varieties of wheels are basically differentiated by the hardness of their urethane. They're the same size, they're same width, same diameter, same bearing, same core. Basically urethane makes the difference with River. But they've got a whole bunch of signature wheels. That's why I really like them. You know, an Australian person, I suppose you don't even have to be Australian, do you, to admire Juzzy Carter as a rider. Reese Duzema as well. Both spectacular people in the sport. Must check them out if you don't know them, but you're probably not watching this if you don't know those two people. Anything else to say about River? Not really. That's it. They're good solid wheels. Oh, I suppose the thing to say about River is it's the Glides that are the softer variation. I believe they're an 84A urethane. I'm not sure what the Rapids are. I'm only talking off, came across people mentioning these things, so I think that's what it is. I can't confirm, it doesn't say it on the wheel or the box. Anyway, River, good wheels. Probably, to me, they're more collectible than rideable. I have ridden some River wheels, and I wish I hadn't, and I wish I had them still. I've had some cool other River wheels. Alright, so number 3 is Proto. I chose Proto above River basically because you've got 3 variations of wheel as opposed to 2 variations of wheel. The other one is the variation in designs. So although they're all only one size, they're all only 110 by 24, there's a lot of colours, a couple of core designs. They're just generally well made wheels, with quite an upstanding reputation in the community. So if you want a good solid wheel, want to ride 110 24s, maybe give Proto a go. Your 3 variations are So you've got your plasmas, they're your softest urethane, see-through urethane on an aluminium core, glued on with blue glue, which Proto website calls Alien Blood, I think, and they look very nice. They're great if you're at the park. If you're a heavy person, maybe don't shred the streets up too much with them, because you'll just go through them. Your next alternative, bear with me. What do we got? Your Proto grippers. They're what I'd call your normal sort of scooter wheel. As far as I understand, they're an 86A urethane, which I guess probably by today's standards I might not call a normal scooter wheel. I might say 88A is a normal scooter wheel, but anyway, I've always sort of said, sort of compared everything to grippers. So yeah, your sort of middle of the range urethane. A lot of signature options come out with the grippers. I suppose more recently we've seen the Chema signature on the plasmas. Yeah, so I've liked these across the years. I've destroyed more of these than I'd care to talk about. Probably rather collectible ones as well. I'll talk in another video about why I started collecting scooter parts. That's its own story. But anyway, yeah, I like these. They're just solid wheels. Get grippers if you don't know. I got these for myself actually. I've never ridden sliders before. I just like the idea of a bit of low traction scooter riding. Getting a bit more comfortable with my balance, doing spins and that sort of stuff. So I got the sliders for myself. I'm going to give them a crack, and I'll probably do a review a bit later on once I've ridden them, and I can tell you how slidey they are. But that's your Proto range. So you've got your plasmas, grippers and sliders, so check them out. Number two on my top favourite scooter wheels. I chose Ethic. Ethic, I've been riding Ethic Calypso wheels now for probably nearly 2 years. I haven't been riding that much over that 2 years, with my daughter just having been born about that time ago. It sort of slowed me down a little bit, but I've got some of those spare pair behind me. The other ones are supporting my tripod at the moment. But yeah, so once you get to know me, you'll know I've always got a bank of the thing that I'm using. So I've been riding these for ages. So, in fact, I haven't been riding quite as much as I used to. I've got a few things put away that I otherwise would have gone through, and this is one of them, the Ethic Calypso, 125 by 30. They're like the biggest wheel you can get. They've got a bigger bearing, 12 standard bearing, which we'll talk about in a bit when I talk about innovations. But Ethic are awesome. They've also got the Mogwai wheel, which is a bit like this, still with a 12 standard bearing. The Mogwai wheel comes in 115 and 125 millimeter diameter variations, so you can basically go anywhere with that. All of them are 30 mil wide though. They've got some other wheels with normal 8 millimeter bearings. I think they're 110 by 24s as well. I think they're called Action or something like that. But check out Ethic. What I like about the Ethic wheels is they're just tough. Like, there's not that much variation to the color schemes of them or anything like that. There's no sick parts. There's nothing like that. They're just like really, really, really well made wheels, and they last like a long time, and they stand up to a lot, and I rate them really highly. So consider Ethic wheels. It does mean that you probably have to switch up to the 12 standard system though. Anyway, finally, number one, my favourite kind of scooter wheel at the moment, favourite brand of scooter wheel at the moment is North. as I was saying before, I really like the 115 by 30 mil variation, and North has them in abundance. North has so many different signature wheels, and like even some other sort of specialty ones that you might want to grab and put away if you like these kind of things. Behind me you might see I've got the John Dev signature wheels. They've just come out recently. Lovely olive green on a black, they say hollow core on the website. I'm not sure if it's hollow core or a solid core. Just feel a bit more solid than what I'm used to hollow cores feeling like. But they're awesome, 115 by 30s. I've also got the Trinity X North collab wheel, same dimensions as the John Dev, and the Cameron McRobbie, same again, 15 by 30. That's his signature wheel there. So yeah, really, really nice wheels. 88A urethane. Not sure if that's a solid, like I said, I don't know if it's solid or hollow. It says it's hollow on the website, it feels solid. This is based off their Signal wheel design, which are a nice wheel too. I've ridden them before. What I most like about North wheels, and I'll show you a close-up of the box, is that the core profile is sort of jagged and it holds in the urethane really, really strongly, and so the wheels don't dehub. They're just solid, like really good idea. It's such a clever innovation as far as wheels go, and I'd like to commend North on that. And consequently, I did just buy 4 pairs of North wheels. Don't know where they're going yet, but definitely keeping the John Dev ones for my shelf. Probably some of these Trinity ones as well. Finally, you'll want to consider the innovations that have occurred in scootering wheels across the however many the fuck it's been years. So yeah, we've not only got 110 by 24s and all that. You've got to think of the urethane density, or whatever you call it. You've got to think of the bearing. You've got to think of all the things that have gone into it. So let's go through a few of those. So I guess core design is something to talk about. That's sort of what I mentioned about the North wheels, why I think they've innovated a little bit better than other companies. They've got that, clever design that holds the urethane on a bit better. So yeah, that's a big selling point as far as I'm concerned in the wheel department in scooters. On top of how well the urethane is going to stay on the core, you've got to think of what type of core do you want. So there's different types. So you've got your hollow core, which is basically 2 pieces of metal, one on each side. The middle's hollow. They're light. That's the benefit of them. They're weak. That's the downside. You've also got full core, which are just a solid bit of metal in the middle. They're your heaviest but your strongest. And your spoked wheels, which are obviously somewhere in the middle, being solid but spoked. Alright, so bearings wise, you've either got your 8mm skateboard bearing. That's just your normal thing. Most companies go with that. Your alternative is your Ethic 12 standard bearing, which is a scooter specific bearing. I went to it because I wanted to try it, just because I'm kind of obsessed with scootering, so you can't really claim to be obsessed with scootering and not at some stage ride 12mm bearing, I don't think. So anyway, I gave it a go, and basically it is better. The problem with it is that everybody hasn't conformed, and I kind of jumped on board a couple of years ago when everyone started raving about it, going, this is going to be in everything, and I just thought, oh, fuck, I'm going to get on it while it's hot and while everybody's doing 12 bearings, and I can buy up a bunch of mad wheels that come out on 12mm bearings over the next little while. Yeah, and then nobody sort of took it up. So yeah, there I was running these 12mm bearings, and like I said, they're better. They're better, but you know, they're so specific basically to Airthick. So that's why I'm kind of going back to the 8mm. Like they're stronger, but they're not that much stronger. I've still busted some. You know, they don't last forever, obviously, and like ultimately, you know, even as a bit of a bigger person, like I've always found 8mm cops enough. Like it'll handle a lot of what you throw at it, and you're going to break bearings anyway. It's just going to happen. Get used to it. Alright, what else have we got? Urethane. So urethane hardnesses can vary a lot. Like I said, you've got those tilt wheels that I showed you, 83A urethane, like some of the softest around. You got other things getting really up there. So you tilt other Dura wheels, the normal ones are 86A urethane. North wheels are 88. The higher the number, the harder the urethane. Most of them will tell you what it is on the wheel or on the box. Proto and River don't, but you know, like I said before, that's just glides are the soft, rapids are the hard for River, plasmas, grippers, sliders in order of softest to hardest. No, one of the interesting urethane innovations that was out a while ago that interested me, and I never got onto it, so if anybody has tried Black Pearl Venom wheels, let me know how those go. There were two variations, both of which were on 12mm bearings, on spoked cores, but very thin spokes, quite a lot of them from what I remember. But yeah, quite an interesting looking design. What was most interesting about those wheels was the first variation had 90A urethane, so very hard urethane. The second variation had 2 layers of urethane. One was 80A, I think. Let me check my notes. Yeah, 80A urethane was the first layer, and 94A was the second layer. So you had a really soft layer, and on top of that a really hard layer. So it was durable on the outside and really quite soft on the inside, so even softer than those tilt wheels. So I would have loved to have got a hold of those. So if anybody's got a hold of those, yeah, hit me up and let me know. Write in the comments what you think about them, or you know, post a review and put a link there. Love to know. It's a bit of one of those, you know, regretful moments in life. Oh, I didn't get to try the fucking 94 on 80 urethane. Anyway, that's about all I've got to say about scooter wheels. So I hope this guide has helped you decide what you want to ride next, or at least how to think about it. And yeah, so like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you want more. I'm going to try and do these on the regular. If you want a Delta 9 THC Tasmanian Hybrid Customs hoodie or shirt or any of the stuff that I wear on this channel, so I might wear some other stuff, but I'll either, you know, let you know if it's not mine, or it'll be obvious. It'll be like, you know, Hella Grip shirt or whatever. Yeah, check out my stuff. Probably I'll just wear a lot of stuff that I make while I'm here. So yeah, hit me up if you're interested. I'll give you a price on Instagram. Delta 9 with the 3 and the 9, you'll see it down on the screen. Yeah, also, if you got this far in the video, tolerated me to this extent, I'm going to give a free, what am I going to give away? What about one of these? White hoodie, really, really comfortable, really nice, big hood, yeah, long, warm, fleecy, mad design on the back. So like, if you want one of them, send me your clips, and whoever's got the best clips that they send me, I'm going to send them a free hoodie, and I'll cover postage and all that. You don't have to pay shit. Like I said, like and subscribe to the video. and I'll catch you next time.